Hey everyone, welcome to applediaries.com. I'm Mariah, and today's subject is on fasting. I wanted to discuss the 3 types of fasting. A lot of people have been messaging me about dry fasting, and they want to know my opinion, so I'm just going to give my opinion. I have an opinion because I've read a lot about it, because I have a lot of experience with it, and I've worked with a lot of people who have done some dry fasting, and we've also, heard some tragedies surrounding dry fasting. So we'll start off with dry fasting. Do I think dry fasting is good? I think that under certain circumstances it can be good, but for most people, no, I don't. Dry fasting is when you go without food or water for an extended period of time, so longer than, say, the nighttime rest. Have I dry fasted? Yes, I've dry fasted up to 24, 36 hours. Why do I not think dry fasting is the best idea for healing and cleansing, aside from what we naturally do over the nighttime and maybe a couple hours on each end in the morning and before bed? Is because we all have internal waste in our body, and while we still have internal waste within our body, when we fast, that waste gets loosened and it comes into circulation. Now, if you're dry fasting, it doesn't matter how long you've been vegan in this sense. Well, I mean, it does in a sense, but when you're dry fasting, this waste gets loosened, but then there's nothing to carry it out. There's no substance, there's no water, which is a good waste remover. So I would not recommend anybody really dry fast for extended periods of time if they still have waste in their body. Now, you may argue that you don't have waste in your body, but I would argue that you do, because it takes so many years to cleanse the body of internal waste in all areas. It takes many, many years, and I know this because I've been on the path for 6 to 7 years, and because other people as well that were fruitarians, even for extended periods of time, or raw foodists, dry fasted in the past, and some actually didn't quite make it. So dry fasting, I would say, may be beneficial for times of survival, or for somebody who is really clean. Now, who is really clean? I don't know if I've met anybody, honestly, who's truly clean, including myself. We live in a toxic world. It's difficult to have all aspects of your life in an ideal state, meaning like clean water, clean air, and clean environment, contact with nature, all your food being completely organic and grown properly. So, even if you feel like you have a really healthy lifestyle, like say myself, there's still internal toxins and waste accumulations to deal with. And so maybe dry fasting could have been ideal long ago, when people didn't have such a toxic environment to deal with. But in this day and age, I think that water at minimum very important if you decide to fast. And I think fasting is highly beneficial when done at the correct time. You don't want to come from a sad diet and then begin doing fasts any longer than a couple days, or you can harm yourself, because that waste that comes into circulation can basically re-poison you on the way out. And if your kidneys are not functioning optimally and other organs and glands, you can run into major complications. So dry fasting is for the very advanced, and I would argue that there's very few people out there that could consider themselves very advanced. I've been on this path, like I said, almost 7 years, and I've been going through periods of fruit cleanses, juice feasts, water fasting of short periods. I've tried a little dry fasting in the past to be able to speak on this and to realize that dry fasting is very intense, and you do need something to carry that waste along if waste is coming into circulation. Now, if you have a very clean body, then why would you even bother to dry fast at that point? Why wouldn't you just, drink when you're thirsty, eat when you're hungry, as long as you're creating the correct environment and you're not adding any more internal toxicity, so to speak. So that's the way I feel with dry fasting. I feel that it definitely could have its place in short periods, slow and steady, but I think that people who dry fast beyond, like maybe 36 hours, definitely could be doing damage to their body when this waste comes in circulation, and it becomes a burden to their kidneys and things. And we did, a lot of us in the health community did have a little bit of a wake-up call when when Robert Lockhart passed, because he had been a raw foodist for an extended period of time. Dry fasting became his thing just in his recent, before his passing, and we all kind of came to realize that, the medical system did point out that his kidneys were severely damaged. Now, why would that be if he was, a raw foodist and eating mainly fruits and hydrating foods? And, the dry fasting definitely took a toll on his body. Now, getting into water fasting, I think water fasting is highly beneficial, and I've done many 3-day water fasts, a few 5-day water fasts. I've done a couple 7-day water fasts, and this is just water, no food, no other drink, for periods of time. Now, water fasting is not recommended if you have not lived on a healthy vegan diet, mainly fruits, greens, and veggies, for at least a year, or it's different for everyone depending on their internal encumbrances and issues. But if you are dealing with major health issues, I would definitely suggest more juice fasting, because you're still bringing in some nutrients and minerals, and you can still kind of function, and it helps to replenish while you're cleansing. It's a slower cleanse, but it's still a cleanse. So with water fasting, I think highly beneficial if you work your way up to it and you learn how to break a fast and how to prepare for a fast, because breaking the fast is just important, as Eret says, as the fast itself, and preparing for the fast as well. So if you don't have these aspects down and clearing your mind, water fasting can be a very difficult experience, and can cause, when your eliminations come into play, it can cause some serious complications. And so if you're new to water fasting, I would say definitely find support, or talk to somebody who's had experience, or at least let somebody know you're doing the water fasting so they can look in on you. But water fasting can definitely be highly beneficial once you've lived on a healthy vegan diet for a while. It basically elevates your health further, and I always suggest shorter water fasts after doing even just a week. I think that 3 days at a time in intervals, like maybe 3 days each month, or 3 days every 2 months, or whichever. I think that is the way to go. Slow and steady, just like my one fast day a week is usually on Mondays if it works out, and I do this slow and steady every week, just one fast day a week, and I find that this one day really helps to elevate my health further every week. And slow and steady, week by week, my health improves. And so that's my thoughts on water fasting. That's my thoughts on dry fasting. And then juice feasting, I guess you cannot call it a fast, because a fast is absence from all nutrition and just water or nothing. But juice feasting is pretty close. And I think that this is a very beneficial way to elevate one's health. Yet these individuals who are doing, upwards of 90 days of juices, I think that even that needs to be worked up to, and a lot of individuals experience complications afterwards with when they reintroduce food, because they don't do it slow enough, or they weren't prepared enough at the beginning of the juice fast, or they begin eating foods that are like fermented foods, or high protein foods, or high fat foods, and you really need to live on a very, very simple diet after a juice feast, especially of extended periods of time. So what I generally recommend is, maybe a week of a juice fast, or 3 days, 3 to 7 days or something, and then eat fruit, or eat the healthy foods like the greens, the veggies, just foods that grow in nature, species specific diet, and then move into another juice fast. See, a lot of people feel like they need to do it all at once, this long extended juice fast, and just get it done, but that's not going to get it done, because this isn't a diet or just a quick fix, it's a lifestyle. So this is something that you'll be, if you wish to obtain health, you'll be on this path for hopefully a lifetime. I mean, I know I'm in it for a lifetime. There's no way I would ever turn back to meats or eggs or any of these foods that create internal toxicity. There's just no way I couldn't enjoy it. It's harming, you know, the planet and the animals that are involved. It's just horror and terror and all aspects, and it's unnecessary, and it's not healthy. There's nothing healthy about animal products, especially dairy or eggs or fish or meat. There's just nothing healthy about it. It's actually creating such internal chaos and toxicity that it's radiating outwards, and our entire planet and world is dealing with toxicity issues, anger, hatred, poor decision making, parasite issues, fungal issues. Like, I could go on and on and on, and it all stems, deep root cause is our diets. So back to fasting, is that what I was speaking about? So I do feel juice fasting in short intervals is beneficial once prepared, probably still a year on a healthy vegan diet at least, or eating just our species specific foods of fruits, greens, veggies, herbs. So those are my thoughts on fasting. I think that things need to be worked up to, they need to be conducted properly, and you need to be prepared, and you need to know what to do afterwards. It's just as important, because like I said, a long fast is only important as that which you break it with, or something like that. It's not verbatim, obviously. So if you wish to speak more on fasting, or you can reach out to me, of course, send me a message. I do work with individuals. I do iridology readings to help pinpoint where their waste accumulations are in the body, and I create wellness plans, which is a herbal and a dietary protocol. Yet the protocol to get well is the same regardless of what health issue, a name you're dealing with. It's just some individuals require a more custom approach. They may need to take it slower, or depending on, you know, what type of issues they're dealing with. So you can always reach out to me at applediaries.com, or you can send me a private message or an email at Maria. I think it's maria@applediaries.com without the H. So Maria, not Mariah. Anyways, that could be confusing, hey? So I wish you all well. Happy healing, everyone, and just do the best you can, and just know that health isn't something that happens overnight. It's just a slow and steady type of path, and health involves taking a step back, keeping things simple, and as simple as possible, really. I mean, and that's why those who truly have the knowledge of health don't have a lot of products to sell, because health has nothing to do with taking any products whatsoever. And that's something that a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their heads around, is just letting go, not taking anything, and just getting back to health and our species-specific diet, which is just what grows in nature. And no, it's not eating the animals that eat. What grows in nature is just eating plants and fruits. So I wish you all well. These are tough times, and I just hope that things take a turn for the better, and I guess that's all I'm going to say here.